Hey, it's Lucas, and today we're going to be trying Grapefruit Gift from Curaleaf for the first time. Before we get into this video, I need to put a little disclaimer here saying YouTube, this video follows all of your guidelines. This is 100% legal medication prescribed to me in the UK by a doctor. I'm not going to be showing the medication, and I'm also not going to be using the medication. So Grapefruit Gift is a cross between Grapefruit Romulan and God's Gift. That's pretty much all I could find on this strain. There is not a lot of information on it out there. Grapefruit Gift is an indica hybrid that is 18%. I personally have tried a couple of grapefruit strains in the past, and they've all worked really well for me, so I'm super excited to try this. This is coming in at £59 for 10 grams, and it is gamma irradiated. So I am going to start out with the packaging like I always do, and you'll notice that this is already open because I decided to try something new with this. I got this about 3 days ago, and I haven't tried any of it yet, but instead of waiting for the video to actually open it up and get into it, I decided to put this in a jar first. So it's been in a jar for 3 days with a Boveda pack, and we're going to get into that in just a minute, but first the packaging. Starting out with the packaging first like I always do, and you can see that the packaging is already open. I decided to try something new. I got this about 3 days ago, and when I got it, I didn't try it right away, but I opened it up and I put it into a glass jar with a Boveda pack, so we're just going to take it from there. Starting out, this packaging is a lot smaller than it looks on the website. I don't know why. I know this is a me issue, but I always think that the packaging is going to be a lot bigger than it comes in. Obviously, it makes sense. It's 10 grams. It doesn't need to be massive, but it always looks bigger than it is. I don't like this deep blue color that Curaleaf have got going on. It gives me really depressing thoughts. I don't know why, but just this color, it makes me depressed. I don't like it. Brand name is very clear up here, and then on this side it says medicinal cannabis flowers 10 grams. Down here it says the strain, Cura GGT 18%, Cultivar Grapefruit Gift, THC 18%, CBD less than 1%, batch number I'm not going to read out. Expiry is 3rd of the 3rd 25, so today is the 31st of January. This has got just over a month left on before it's expired. And then on the back there you've got the warning label that I'm not going to read out. You've got my prescription label here, and then on the side it says composition, cannabis dried flowers, delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to read out. Storage instructions, store in a cool dry place below 25 degrees Celsius, mode of use for inhalation. I always like it when it says on the packaging for inhalation instead of for inhalation via vaporizer. Now obviously I vape my prescription, I don't smoke it, but I know there's people out there who do, and I don't know, I feel like that could be a little loophole for you there. That was a joke, don't take everything I say so seriously. So packaging for me, I want to give it a 4. I don't know why I've taken such a dislike to it, but I don't like it, so it's getting a 4. Okay, so moving on to the looks. If you want to see what this flower looks like, check out the link in the pinned comment. I'm obviously not going to be showing it in this video because if I do, the video will get age restricted and no patients will be able to see it. I was quite impressed by these looks, I won't lie. I think this looks pretty decent. For £59, and to say that it's so close to its expiry date, it looks good. Decent mixture of medium and smaller nugs. On closer inspection, it does look a little bit washed out and a little bit brown towards the stalks, but honestly for £59 it's not that bad. It is quite dry. It's not the most dry flower that I've had on medical, but it is quite dry. But again, I'll bring it back to the fact that it is £59 and it is 1 month away from expiry. For that, it's not bad at all actually. I'm going to give it a 6.5, taking everything into account, the price, the expiry date, and the fact that it's Curaleaf, let's be honest. It's not bad, it's actually fine. 6.5 I think is very, very fair for this. Moving on to the smell. Now this has been in a jar for 3 days with a Boveda pack, and I will say it's got a very grapefruity, spicy, earthy sort of scent. It's not really sweet at all, it's tart and nose stingy and spicy. I think that pretty much sums it up. It is spicy, earthy, citrusy grapefruit. It smells pretty good actually for what it is. One thing that I have to note here is that when I opened the bag before I put it into the jar, the smell hit me straight away. It did smell like grapefruit, and it didn't have the medical smell is what I'm going to call it. Like, people talk about this all the time, very controversial. Some people agree, some people don't. I don't think that this smelled, well, it had it, but the overwhelming smell was grapefruit, which surprised me 100% because I wasn't expecting that, and it was quite pleasant. So for the smell of the whole nugs, I have to give it a 7. It's alright. In the grinder, this definitely breaks down more fluffy than it does dense, and the spiciness takes a step back, releases a lot more of that sweet grapefruit, but it is still tart. Honestly, it reminds me of this body wash that I had a long time ago from Body Shop. It was just the grapefruit one. If you've ever had that, not my favourite smell in the world, but definitely tart, sweet grapefruit. Imagine that, but with a little bit of spice on the end of it, and that's what this smells like. Sounds stupid to say, but I am very surprised that it actually does smell a lot like grapefruit. The ground up smell gets a 7.5, so I think that overall averages out to a 7.25 for the smell. At 18%, I got this to be a daytime strain. For me, in the daytime, I like lower percentage indica hybrids. I don't know why, I just think that they work best for me and my anxiety. They suppress it without making me too sleepy, and that's why I like them. 99% of the time, I run my Mighty through a small water pipe, and the rest of the time, I just use it through the straw. Today, I just feel like using it through the straw, so that's what I'm going to do. Starting out at 175, you get a medium dense cloud and spicy, earthy grapefruit flavour. There is no getting away from the grapefruit in this. It is definitely coming through, and it is very nice. It's weird because I like grapefruit strains, but I don't like grapefruit in real life. Like, I will eat the fruit, but I don't like the smell of it, and I don't like anything that tastes like grapefruit. But this, the grapefruit terps, is really nice. Genuinely, after like 4 or 5 pulls, this has more flavour than some of the non-irradiated strains. That's crazy. I'm getting a sour, almost puckering feeling, starting at the sides of my tongue and almost extending to the bottom of my cheeks. It definitely feels like the tart, sour feeling that you get when you bite into citrus fruit. I've had about 4 or 5 pulls on this, and the flavour is starting to change. I haven't upped the heat yet, but it's getting less tart and grapefruity and more earthy, musky, and herbal. Good thick clouds at 185 if you pack the Mighty capsule tight enough, but not too tight. The flavour is definitely backing off a little bit. Like I said, it's more earthy and musky and herbal. If you don't take a hit for a few seconds, the grapefruitiness is definitely there, but it is most certainly dying off now. At about 3 pulls at 185, and the flavour is pretty much gone. If I don't take a hit for a few seconds, there's a lingering tart grapefruit around the sides of my mouth and an earthy spiciness in the back of my throat. It does taste really nice, and it does have flavour, which is the main thing that I am so shocked about because I wasn't expecting that at all. Some of the 85 to 100 pound strains have had absolutely no flavour whatsoever, and this is a 59 pound strain that's got quite a lot. I'm not going to say it's the most flavourful thing in the world compared to black market bud. It doesn't hold a candle to it, but the first couple of pulls at 175 really did taste like grapefruit, and they were really nice. The flavour is completely gone now, and I still am only at 185. It's still kicking out clouds, but absolutely no flavour now. Initially, I wanted to give the flavour an 8, but it didn't last very long at all, so I really can't give it an 8. I will give it a 7.25 because the flavour at 175 for the first 5 or 6 pulls was really nice. Upped it to 185, it got a little bit more herbal, musky and spicy, but still nice, and then it was just gone, so I can't rate it as high as I wanted to. The flavour I got was very nice, so I'm going to give the flavour 7.25. It's not super sweet, but you do still get a sweet grapefruit hit. The spiciness is sort of in the middle back of your throat, and then there's an earthy muskiness just around the edges of your mouth, and when it melds together all really nicely. That I just jumbled up my words there. What I wanted to say was when it all melds together, it becomes really, I don't fucking know. It tastes good, bro. It tastes good. For £59, very nice. I do recommend the flavour on this, but only for the first few pulls, and then it ends and it's very disappointing. But the flavour that you get initially, it's too good not to comment on. I have to stress this, that it does not last long enough, but the first couple of pulls, very nice, even nicer than some of the more expensive strains, I would say. So whilst I'm giving the effects a chance to marinate, I'm going to go through my rating. Packaging, 4 out of 10. I am prescribed for anxiety, depression and insomnia, and this, just looking at this packaging, is making my depression worse. I don't know why, just the colour, it's a sad colour. It makes me feel sad. I don't like it. It's boring. It's just not good, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Looks, I'm going to give a 6.5, refer back to the short at this point. For how close it is to the expiry, and also for the price, I can't really complain that much. It's not the best looking flower that I've ever seen in my life, but it's definitely passable, so I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. I think, like I said, just keep going back to the price and the how close it is to the expiry, and then take another look at it. It's not as bad as some flowers that I've seen that are fresh and a lot more expensive. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10 I think is very fair for this. Smell of the whole nugs, spicy, earthy, grapefruity, citrus. Definitely no mistake in the fact that it was grapefruit, and based on that I'm going to give the smell of the whole nugs, I think I gave it a 7, and then Broken down, it gets a lot sweeter, and I gave it a 7.5. That averages out to 7.25 overall for the smell. Now the taste, like I said, at 175, it was very, very nice. Spicy, earthy, musky, grapefruit 100%, no mistake in the grapefruit terp in there. Very nice. I think next time I'm going to try this out at 160 to begin with, because it was very nice at 170, like I said. I can only imagine at 160 it would be even better tasting. At 185, the grapefruit kind of died off a bit, and more of the spicy, herbal muskiness came into play, which, again, I've always said that's not my preferred terp profile, but the little bit of grapefruit in there held on, and it was still nice. I'm very surprised at this. It's not going to punch you in the face, but the grapefruit is definitely there. If you like citrusy terps, if you're a fan of the grapefruit strains like I am, definitely give this a go. I'm not going to say that you won't be disappointed, because I'm not you, and I don't know what you're going to get, but for me, considering that it's only a month away from expiry, considering that it's only £59, considering that it is, I think this one's gamma irradiated, the fact that there's any terps at all is an absolute wonder. So the grapefruitness coming through for me, I like it. I'm going to give the flavour, like, it doesn't last very long. It's not super intense, but even compared to the higher non-irradiated flowers, this was good. The flavour was good for what I got, so I'm going to give it, honestly, a 7.5. Now, that might be overrating it just a little bit, but I'm going to go with this, and we'll see how it is when I finish the medication, but for my first time trying it, I'm going to give the flavour a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I haven't finished the Mighty capsule yet, but I've been here for about 10 minutes vaping on it, so I would say the effects for me so far, at 18%, I wasn't expecting a lot from this, but that being said, the banana ice cake from Kiron, I think that was 18%, or maybe between 18 and 20%, something like that, maybe 21, I actually genuinely can't remember, but it was quite a low percentage, and that got me in a way that was crazy. It didn't knock me out or anything like that, because it was a daytime strain, but it got me to say that it was only 18%. This, right, or 18 to 21, whatever it was, this right now, I feel super relaxed, like properly. I've got like I can feel it not as a heaviness or a heat behind my eyes, but more of a, I don't really know how to describe this feeling. It feels almost sativa-y in a way, like not anxious or anything, but very, very light in the head. My shoulders also feel light. My rib cage feels light, which is new. I don't know if I've ever had that before. My chest feels not fluttery. That's not the way that I would describe it. It just kind of feels like it's full of helium, and it feels really light. I kind of feel like my rib cage is expanding in a weird way. It feels bizarre, but it doesn't feel bad. Like, it's almost kind of nice in a way. Like, my entire, like, from my chest cavity down to my stomach feels very light and empty and airy. This is like a really weird body feeling. I feel like I'm floating. Not much in the way of head effects. I can definitely feel something behind my eyes, and things around me look a little bit different, but it's not heavy and it's not hot. This feels like a mellow, floaty, it almost feels the same. Like, I don't know how to describe this, but my head feels floaty and light and sort of not really balloon on a string, but I genuinely don't know how to describe this. And then also my body feels the same way, in that it feels light and airy and like it wants to float away. I don't know if I've ever had this feeling I probably have, but probably not for a long time. This sort of light, open, airy chest feeling. It's really, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like there's an air bubble in my chest, but not in an uncomfortable way, just in a light sort of way. I feel calm, I feel relaxed, but I don't feel stupid. Now, like I said, this is my daytime strain, so usually I don't want to feel stupid in the daytime in the way that I like to in a nighttime. I don't want to shut off all thoughts completely. I just kind of want to quiet them down a little bit. On a nighttime, I don't want any thoughts. In the daytime, I still need to think, so I feel like I can think through this, but I also feel very, very calmed at the same time. It is currently 5 p.m, well, just gone 5 p.m, and around this time is where I want to start winding down. I want to start getting the stupid feeling, you know. I want to let go of my day and get into nighttime mode. So I don't know if this is the strain for that. Maybe I just need to vape a little bit more. I don't feel as medicated as I would like to on a nighttime. But then again, like I keep saying, this is my daytime strain. I haven't tried it yet in the daytime. You're going to have to come back and listen to the full review for that. As of right now, I'm going to give the effects. I feel very nice, but I'm not quite sure yet. So I'm going to give them a 6.75 out of 10 for right now. Packaging 4, looks 6.5, smell 7.25, effects 6.75. So overall, for my first time trying Grapefruit Gift from Curaleaf, I'm gonna give it a 6.75 for now. I'm not too sure how I feel. Like, I think that I like it, but I feel like the more that I inspect it and the more that I focus on it and the more that I have it, I'm just gonna keep continuing to pick more faults with it. But for now, not too high, not too low, 6.75. If you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me if you've tried Grapefruit Gift. Stick around for the full review. I don't know when that'll be, so you'll just have to subscribe. Leave me a comment telling me what I should try next. Peace.